leaves and heads into the peace summit is being held in the main bailey of Skyhold. As he passes into the main bailey past you, the door closes and Ren turns and says, "So, what are we gonna do about that?"
I mean, right now, nothing.
Brother, are you showing restraint right now? Is that what this is?
Well, I just don't want to go in there, but...
No. You're showing restraint.
I'm not. That's not what's going on.
I have always known you to tackle your problems, like, head first to the floor. Is this Lennon's influence?
No. No, it's a good point. Ren. Definitely. Let's just go in there and kill him right now. I just hadn't thought of...
I am shocked. I am delighted. I
hate this. I hate you.
Known that you could actually have some modicum of self-restraint. I'm
like,
proud of you.
Looking beseechingly at Elian and Cassandra for help. Like, come on, please.
Ren puts one arm around your neck and noogies you.
Ow, stop it. Stop. Hey, no, just because you're slightly taller. Get off of me. I, like, shove him hard against the wall. Well, we can't do anything about it right now, obviously, Ren, okay?
No, that's a very acute observation is all I'm saying.
I hate this.
Maybe stop needling your brother so we can
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
We need to probably talk to Briella.
Well, she's in there too.
Well, yes, not right now. I mean, after, when we can find some time away. We don't know how involved she is.
Isn't that kind of a danger? If we don't know how involved she is, anything we say to her could go directly to Solas's ears.
Well, now that we know, we can be sure to be careful about what we discuss.
Ren says, I think we should talk to his boyfriend first.
My boyfriend? He's not my boyfriend. I don't have a boyfriend.
See, the fact that you knew immediately who I was talking about indicates that he is indeed your boyfriend, and I think we should talk to him first.
Wow, I hate this. Oh my god.
You made the decision. You saw me.
Why did we bring you here? We should have left you at home.
You made the conscious decision to take me with you. I'm just saying this is all on you.
Oh my god, I just should have left you to die. I should have. I knew all along. Let's go talk to Lannon, you son of a bitch.
Well, he's also in there too, but, you know.
Yeah.
Oh, shit. I guess we should just, like, kill time until then?
Yeah, that's a thing you could do. Skyhold is, it's impressive, so if you want to have a specific thing that you want to see in Skyhold, I mean, feel free. Like, you can't go into the main bailey, because obviously that's where the peace summit is being held, but anywhere else, you can pretty much...
Would we be able to find any of Briella's other affiliates or associates?
Theoretically, yes. In practice, probably not. Briella, her associates, as it were, are servants of Empress Celine, but not all of the servants. And you don't necessarily know which ones are with Briella and which ones are actually servants.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, well then I'm all ears. What do you want to do? I'm all ears, get it?
oh, that was an elf joke. I get it.
It's like, because the ears, awesome.
I give him a high five.
I feel like Elian's just kind of staring at you. He's totally, like, overwhelmed right now. His brain is not working anymore. He's still stuck on, like, what happened 30 minutes ago.
Ren says, you go ahead and, like, do whatever it is you want to do. I am gonna go see if I can steal more bechamel sauce, and then he leaves.
Oh my god, I forgot about the eggs.
I'm just gonna, like, do that thing that you do in the actual games where you're just like, what's in this room?
Right?
I
guess I'll go back to, like, the library section.
The Library of the Inquisition is a large, circular tower. On the lowest level of the tower, there is a single table, and the walls, are painted very elaborately. They're actually quite beautiful, painted murals that completely circle the walls. And then if you follow a set of stairs up and around, you come to the library proper. The library is mostly quiet and abandoned. There is a librarian who is puttering around cleaning some of the shelves, but it is otherwise empty.
I'm gonna pick a random book off of the shelves.
It is a book by a man named Brother Genitivi. It is something about Chantry history.
It's so boring. I put it back.
Elian, you find yourself in the wine cellar. So underneath the main bailey of Skyhold, there's an extensive system of smaller rooms. You think some of them may be repurposed prisons and torture chambers? Because, like, there are places on the walls where clearly there used to be chains attached, but now the chains are gone now, and now there's just very lovely murals and tables and stuff. And yes, there is actually, when you find the wine cellar, you're actually kind of impressed. Like, there's a lot of stuff here, and a lot of it is really good vintage bottles. Quite a diverse selection, too.
I don't know what I'm supposed to do with this knowledge.
Start planning out a meal plan for every single bottle of wine.
That is actually a game he would probably play.
You actually find one separate little room off toward the back of the main wine cellar that, according to a plaque, is a private selection of the Inquisitors.
Okay, now that's interesting.
Yeah, it looks like it has not been touched in some time. You'd feel bad about stealing from the larger room, but, you know, this small room, but that's just Lennon stuff. You can steal from him. That's fine.
I think I would go in just to see, like, what kinds of things were in there, whether it was actually things Lennon had actually picked out, or if it's just things that were probably gifted to him.
So you probably didn't notice it while you were watching me play Inquisition, but there's a whole bunch of collection quests in Inquisition. Like, you can collect the songs in the Skyhold Tavern, and you can also collect bottles of various alcohols and liquors.
That's what I've been doing.
And so you find that, like, it's a very, very diverse collection. Like, they've got everything from, like, a Sunblonde Vint, which is a very popular wine from Antiva, to Grey Warden Conscription wine, which is famously not very good. It's what you know about roll cultural lore. Let's find out if you know about Conscription wine. So Conscription wine, you don't know. Actually, by now you do, because Ren mentioned it briefly. You know something about the process of becoming a Grey Warden. It involves somehow taking the blight intentionally into yourself. Conscription wine is the wine that Grey Wardens talk about always following up the ritual to make them Grey Wardens. Whatever process that Grey Wardens go through to become Wardens is apparently so harrowing that they have to make their own liquor to deal with it immediately afterwards.
Wow.
So Conscription wine is this homebrew kind of moonshine liquor that Grey Wardens are famous for making, and it's not supposed to taste good. It's supposed to be as alcoholic as fucking possible. It's supposed to make you forget the last 12 hours of your life.
God. I don't know. I don't think Elian's, like, in a drunk mood. I think he's just...
Look, it's gonna be a long, hard campaign. You're not telling me you don't think at some point we're gonna want to forget the last 12 hours?
It's just Lannon. You can steal from Lannon.
I can definitely steal from Landon. It's okay.
I don't know. Maybe he takes one of the bottles just to bring up to share with the others later.
Which, the Conscription wine, or something a little more flavorful?
Something more flavorful.
Pussy.
Oh man,
Boring.
Cassandra, were you serious? Do you literally just, like, stand outside the main bailey, waiting for it to be over?
Absolutely. Yep. She goes back into, like, Cerebos mode and does not move or speak.
Oh no.
That's something that should probably be addressed.
That's upsetting.
It's weird.
Okay, so you are just literally standing outside the main bailey of Skyhold. So I think when the door opens, Landon literally almost runs into you, which is hilarious because he's like 5'5",
Right.
and you are several heads taller than him, and he almost knocks you. He's like, "Creators! Oh, hey, have you been sitting out here this whole time?"
I have, yes.
Okay, that's weird, but okay. You know, you could go around this castle if you wanted to. Anywhere?
But I don't want to.
Okay.
Do you want me to?
I have no control over you.
Oh, that's right. You don't. I'm free now. Huh.
Yeah. Are you okay?
Interesting question. Probably not.
Okay. You should definitely talk about that with someone who's better at talking than me. Have you seen Sabray?
As far as I know, he left for the library.
Are we talking about the same spray?
I know. I don't think he's actually reading. I would be shocked if he was.
I'm just gonna go. And then he leaves.
I would like to say that whenever he does eventually find me, I will be reading a book upside down.
Perfect. I love it.
He arrives pretty quietly, and he lightly smacks you on the shoulder and says, "Hey, I have something to show you."
I dropped the book. Ah!
He does not even notice. He heads right past you to a window, and he pushes it open with both hands. He's like, "This way," and then he crawls out the window. This is a very tall tower.
Where are you?
Follow! And then he climbs up the wall out the window.
I sort of shrug my shoulders, and I'm like, yeah, okay, checks out, and I do it.
It's actually kind of a perilous climb. It's like, 15 feet of sheer wall. But the Skyhold is old enough that there's a lot of, places to grip, lots of little shelves where you can put your hands and feet to climb up. And he eventually guides you onto what is actually a roof, like a literal rooftop. And the view from the top of this roof is spectacular. You thought the view from his chambers was good? This is an uninterrupted view of the Frostback Mountains. It is spectacularly beautiful.
I think I take a deep, shocked breath a little bit. I'm just like, holy, how did you ever find this?
I don't know, chicken shit Shems were men enough to come up and climb with me, so they all missed out on it.
Checks out. I'm honestly a little surprised you made that. You don't usually seem the type.
Says, hey, fuck off.
I'm just I think I go over it. I'm just taking the view, pacing the whole thing. Wow, you can see for miles.
He says, yeah, and this is on a hazy day, too.
Creators. I just sort of look around. I know this place has bad memories for you, Lennon, but
this was the one place where the memories are okay. Because this is the one place no one could fucking find me.
It'd be a little hard to up here.
Negotiations are going well. They're trying to figure out who is going to headmaster this university, and I have a bad feeling it's going to be me.
What, you never wanted to be a dean?
Says, funnily enough, no. I never wanted to be a dean of a university in a castle in the mountains.
It does sound extraordinarily boring.
Not at the top of my list of things that I wanted to do with my life.
While we're here, I should mention, we, well, not me. Ren found something disturbing. One of Brialla's people has a crimson Valusline.
It's I brought you up here because I like the view and this place has happy memories for me.
Is that what you... Oh, I thought we were here to discuss...
I'm trying to be sweet and romantic and you're fucking ruining it.
Oh god, I'm not good at this. I don't understand. So, forget everything I just said.
He says, no. It's oh god. Is Brialla's compromised?
We don't know. We don't know yet.
Okay, I'll get to the bottom of it.
Ren did bring a good point. We might just want to go kill the man with the crimson Valusline.
He says, killing him might not be the best. There's more we could get out of him if we interrogate him.
Yeah. I was hoping to maybe see if we can find others and see how far this is spread. It could just be the one.
It could, but I don't want to risk it if he's not. He says, I think I'll probably have to stay behind here.
Stay behind at Skyhold?
Yeah, just for a little while, just long enough to capture... What was the name?
Arnaud.
I'll find him and I'll try to capture him on the down low and interrogate him and maybe bring him back to Kirkwallum and Rathis or something.
I think I'm a little taken aback, so wait, you won't be joining us?
In Orzammar? No, this seems a little bit more important than that. I mean, I'm sure you guys can handle yourselves perfectly well.
Yeah, I mean, I'm very strong, it won't be a problem, but I just sort of look out. I guess I'll miss you.
Thanks?
I'm just staring at him awkwardly.
Oh god.
And then I kiss him.
Oh god.
Yeah, I mean, he was trying to be romantic and then you did your best to fix it.
Trying really hard.
You sure did try.
This is my best effort.
An attempt was made.
Yeah, sure.
So the long story short of the end of the summit is that it works. I can't, you managed to persuade all three people of the seriousness of getting this peace summit to end peacefully. You managed to get the allegiance of the Orlesian Chevaliers, of Ferelden and the standing army of King Alistair. And you also got Briella. She has a not insignificant spy network at her disposal. Although Lennon is now no longer sure if they're safe to trust, but in the interest of not showing his hand, he's going to keep his knowledge of that on the DL and capture Arno, stay behind in Skyhold, and get to the bottom of it. And things wrap up in Skyhold relatively quickly.
It's so much easier than I expected, I say to Elian.
Yeah, like I can picture that as like you're all on horseback, like leaving Skyhold, and you're just like,
Really thought that was going to be harder. It seemed like it should have been harder. Do you think we maybe did something wrong? Is there something we missed?
That's what I've been asking myself for days.
I don't know about you guys, but it was plenty hard talking to anybody outside of you.
I'm like, I turned to look speculatively at you, and I'm like, oh man, I would have loved to be in that room.
Talcon pickpockets you, Elian, and produces the sunblonde vent that you stole.
Oh, hey, at least somebody doesn't have ethics. Give me that.
Talcon's like, hey, finders keepers. He fills the cork off and takes a swig.
I didn't know there was decent alcohol in this rig. Come on. What else is... I'm going through Elian's stuff. Like, is there more wine in there?
I hit you. Get out of my bag.
Okay, well, you can just tell me. Is there any more liquor that you've got?
No.
Well, that's boring.
So sorry that I'm not up to your standards.
I'm sorry, too. Talcon, you gonna share that?
He finishes off a couple mouthfuls and then, like, wipes his mouth with the back of his hand. He's like, yeah, here you go. And then he passes it to you.
I feel like that's not the kind of thing I would care about. I take a huge swig, and I pass it to Cassandra.
I just like sort of look at the bottle and I'm like,
It's good. Just drink some, Cassandra.
shrugs, okay, and then like I take a swig too.
Drinking while on horseback, this was not what I expected to be happening.
I just kind of like look apologetically like, sorry, Elian, we didn't ask, but
I mean, there's no way he purchased this.
These are clearly ill-gotten gains, Talcon agrees.
I was going to ask Landon about it, but then I couldn't find him.
Oh, you stole it from Landon? Oh, it's even better. It's fine. He wouldn't mind it if he does. Who cares?
I also had like a bottle of like, God, he had all sorts of things down there.
So you only took the one?
Yes?
What's wrong with you? I just sort of shake my head. I turn to Talcon for, like, moral support.
Like, yeah, no, he's right. You should have taken more.
Thank you.
But they are Lennon's, are they not?
What's Lennon's is ours.
At the very least, mine.
At the very least, mine.
I'm unsure how true that is for the rest of us, but okay, Ariel.
Anyways, when are we getting to Orzammar?
Ren says, based on our current location, I'd say 2 days. It's not that far north into the Frostbacks. And he says, and since we're on the way, I should probably warn you about Orzammar. Where do I begin? So the King of Orzammar, his name is Bhelen Aeducan. He is only king because I kind of put him there. So we shouldn't have too much trouble getting an audience with him, but I should warn you. Like I said, he's what's a good way to put this? He's a dickhead.
What?
And I'm not saying that in the way like, oh, all politicians are dicks. Like, no, he killed 2 of his siblings to get the throne.
Oh.
Like, he is genuinely a bad person. He's power hungry in a very bad way.
And
Let me explain. Let me explain myself. He says, I didn't give a fuck about who became King of Orzammar, right? The 5th Blight was happening. I needed the Dwarves of Orzammar to fight on the surface with me against the Darkspawn. But, the previous king had just died, and they were not going to be able to help me until they had a king. So I did some stupid bullshit. I went into the Deep Roads, and I backed Bhelen because even though he is an asshole, he was an asshole who was going to help the plight of the castless and open up Orzammar a little bit more to the surface.
So, does he like you?
I don't think so,
Okay.
Oh no.
but he owes me, so that should be enough to at least get an audience with him. I did sort of call him an asshole the second the crown got on his head, so...
Okay, yeah, so he doesn't like you. Okay.
that checks out for Sabray siblings, yeah.
He says the other guy was nicer than him, but, he was very traditionalist, and I thought as long as I was choosing the King of Orzammar, I might as well, try to improve the lot of life for, the people at the bottom rungs. And listen, it was 2 bad choices.
So this is gonna be fun. Hey, Talgan, any opinions?
Talgan's like, nope. He takes a swig. Not a one. I was 8 years old when I left Orzammar. I don't even remember the name of the king when I left, so. And it's like, it was Endron Aeducan. He's like, don't care. He takes another swig.
So, what's our plan of attack here?
He says, well, we need to get to the Legion of the Dead. They're usually in the Deep Roads, but every now and then they come back up to Orzammar to, make reports and stuff. So we should be able to talk to a Legion of the Dead emissary, hopefully, and ask them directly. They do technically work for the king, so we will need the king's permission. But like I said, he owes me, so...
I guess that's the game plan then, is we just ask him. So, works for me! Sounds good!
If you have any questions about Orzammar, what to expect in Orzammar, questions about King Bhelen, now would be the time to ask.
Yeah, I feel like Cass is probably, as a Kenari, never been underground, so it's just like, will I even fit?
Oh yeah, no, don't worry about it. Orzammar is... Let's just say the dwarves are compensating for something.
Okay.
Talgan's like, ha!
Like, are they do they care about the blight, or are they just kind of like, this is a
surfacer thing.
a surfacer problem and we don't give a shit?
Ren says, well, so the Darkspawn are always a problem in the Deep Roads. That's why the Legion of the Dead exists, because they're the ones that guard Orzammar between blights. Actually, when a blight happens on the surface, they get a nice little reprieve. Because all the Darkspawn are no longer underground, they're now all topside trying to kill everyone else.
So they're kind of happy about the blight.
They very much consider blights a surfacer problem, but, up until very recently, they had the Grey Warden treaties to compel them to help us anyway. Although now I guess it's...
Yeah.
I don't got that in anymore. So.
That's concerning. Are the Legion of the Dead are all dwarves?
Yes, all dwarves.
Okay.
I gave you a brief explanation, I don't remember how long ago.
Yeah, I remember.
They're called the Dead Cast because they celebrate their own funeral and then they go off to live the rest of their lives.
Oh, yeah, so they're considered,
Right.
lesser? Is it a...
Oh, no, they're given actually a lot of high esteem. They're well honored, but they're just dead. They're not allowed to talk to their families anymore because they're dead and they just went off to serve the Dead Cast.
Okay. So, we need another angle. I'm not saying this is Yariel, because he
Yeah, you're
wouldn't
saying
know
this out of
this.
character.
Yeah, we need another angle to get them to help us, because, I guess we can just ask them, but it kind of feels like that's not a lot of,
motivation to be
like,
that's a Ren plan.
Yeah. Ren's plan, we could. That sure is an option. We could just ask nicely. Yariel plan might just be to smash things. Also, probably not a good idea. Or punch people, do what we say!
Is there anything else they want? We're not, stopping the blight isn't gonna make anything better, essentially, for them.
He says, as for what they want, Ren says, I don't really know. I didn't spend a lot of time in Orzammar. Talgan says, they always want to expand the lyrium trade. I don't know if we can get really any major contacts with who would place large orders of lyrium, though.
Okay, I think that's probably the way in, is to talk about, I don't know how we expand the lyrium trade. This is, again, definitely not a Yariel thing.
Yeah.
Well, you do... This is extremely unethical, but you do have Templars in your service now.
Okay, no, we're not doing that.
yeah.
We're not doing that.
No,
That's bad.
No, fuck that.
Do we know people? We've got people in Orlais, obviously, now, and for Relden. It's basically it's mages. Do we know mages that might need it?
I have an idea.
Talgan says, well, speak up.
So, it's used primarily by mages now that the Templars aren't,
Mm-hmm, yes.
And Vivienne is close with Lannon, and I don't think she would want to do anything that I want, but that's neither here nor there. We could...
Who's Vivienne?
She... Okay, I'm going about this ass over tail. Mages use it. She is very, very influential with what's known as the Circle of Magi. Maybe she could get them to increase their order?
So if we asked Landon to talk to Vivienne and possibly... that's interesting.
Telgin says, well, we also have possibly the next Archon. So there's that. We can also see if we can bribe them that way. Like, oh, we're in bed with the next Archon. Well, at least one of us was in bed with the next Archon. He says, looking at Cassandra.
I'm like, what? Oh.
Yeah, it seems reasonable. Okay, so we've got some other paths here.
We've got some stuff that you could theoretically bribe him with. Yeah.
Jarl speaks up and just like, well, we could also just threaten to kill them if they didn't help us.
Let's not go with that one.
Okay, well.
Telgin's like, threaten to kill all of Orzammar?
No,
just King Bhelen.
Just the king. You're talking about assassination?
Okay, maybe the more I'm talking about this, the less of a good idea it is. But just, back pocket, plan D, just in case everything else doesn't work.
As Ren said it would be, the trip between Skyhold and the gates of Orzammar is quite short. The gates of Orzammar are nestled into this sort of valley that's crushed between two sharply sloping mountains. There's a long path that leads up to the gates and a large market just outside, mostly surfacer dwarves who are peddling their wares on the outside. They are not presently being guarded, but the second you go inside through what's termed the Hall of Heroes, Ren mutters to you under his breath, with these great statues of dwarves looming down over you, he explains, these are paragons. He says paragons are, and then he looks helplessly at Telgin like, can you explain what paragons are better than I can? And Telgin's like, he says paragons they're part of the dwarven religion. Whereas you surfacer folk all worship your sky maker, or whatever it is you worship.
Creators.
Sure, okay. We dwarves worship our ancestors, and certain ancestors that have done a great service to the people of Orzammar, that have invented something magnificent, or advanced culture or society in some way, they are raised up to the level of paragons, living ancestors. And he says, the last one died about 15 years ago. And then he turns and looks suspiciously at Ren's like, I had nothing to do with that, if anyone asks.
Very convincing. You should try to be more convincing when you say that again.
I had nothing to do with killing Paragon Bronca.
Maybe don't talk about it, actually.
So that's her name.
Listen, she was going crazy in my defense. She was trying to trap souls in it. It's not important. You pass through the Hall of Paragons, and you finally make it to Orzammar. The second you open this second set of inner doors, you are blasted with heat. You are on this long stone bridge, about 100 feet below which is a lake of lava, which is the primary illumination of the room. It is very busy. There are vendor stalls set up all around these main commons, storefronts, shoppers, kids that are following their mother's skirt, chasing in every direction. It is massive, and it is impressive. Like, Telgin has basically been shit-talking Orzammar since the minute you met him, but it's really hard not to be sort of blown away by how beautiful and massive Orzammar is.
I'm just sort of like staring around, and I'm just like, Telgin, I think you might have left a few things out, man.
Telgin says, oh yeah, they're also very racist. I left that out.
Excellent.
Ren, who, it has been 15 years, but, he was in what amounts to a coma for most of those 15 years, so it's still relatively fresh in his mind. He guides you through this very busy market. And you get a lot of people noticing you, not just yes, because you are several heads taller than anyone else, but also because you're surfacers. And they all seem very, very keen to get some of that good surfacer gold. And as you're walking, Ren says, last time I had to flex my Grey Warden treaties just to get in. He says, maybe King Bhelen has kind of opened it up to the surface literally, as well as figuratively.
That feels suspicious.
You can literally just come in.
Doesn't seem safe.
He says, well, I mean, you can't fault that it's clearly had a good effect on the economy, he says as he's looking around at the assembled dwarves peddling their wares. He says, anyway, he'll be in the diamond quarter. It's this way. And he heads off. And yeah, there's a lot of stuff to pass. There's like a nug breeder that you pass at one point.
Oh, God.
Who has, like, you can hear him before you see him, all the squeaking of the nugs. Ren, as he passes, is like, that's the guy. It's like, okay, I don't want to sound crazy, but the last time I was here, I bought Liliana a nug, and this guy looks a lot like the guy I bought it from.
Why? It's possible it's the same person. Why wouldn't it be the same person?
Well, because when I met him, he was castless, like living in Dusttown, and now he's in the Commons.
What does that mean?
It means that he's moved up in caste, which doesn't seem like it should be possible. And Talgan, he is frowning. He says, it definitely shouldn't be possible.
So maybe this king has made changes. I mean, you said that's what you wanted, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, no, it totally is. I didn't think he'd actually be successful, is the thing. Like, and then he stares at the nug breeder wonderingly and then just sort of awkwardly walks off. Eventually you do make it into the diamond quarter, which true to its name is glittering in certain places with lots and lots of diamonds, particularly around the signage, like over doors, glimmering in the handrails, that kind of thing. It is about as bougie as you can look while still looking definitely dwarven. And Ren says, I will go see if I can petition for audience with King Bhelen. You guys have a look around the diamond quarter, I guess. Meet back here in 10 minutes?
Okay.
All right.
So this is a good point. There are also vendors in the diamond quarter, and now is a good, if you want to buy something with, actually, you know what? You've got so much money, I don't even care. If you want to buy something, like look through the book if there's like a weapon or a piece of armor that you want to buy. You can take this opportunity to buy it.
Good,
yes.
Because I was gonna say, I'm like, I forgot that I don't actually have any armor yet, just that I can wear it now, and I need some armor, and I need to get my sword.
So what's Cassandra's process? Does she like just wander around until she finds something labeled blacksmith and just, or does she ask around like who's a good blacksmith, or I'm very interested to know what her shopping around process looks like.
I feel like, yeah, the first thing she does is sort of like scan around and then realizes like, wait a minute, these are dwarves. Like, I don't fucking know anything about dwarves. Like, how would I know? So yeah, definitely going to ask around, be like, you there, I'm sorry for bothering you. Do you know where a blacksmith might be?
The person that you flagged down is just a random citizen. She's got like a kid on her hip and she says, you realize that you're in Orzammar, yeah? You can't spit without hitting a blacksmith.
Specifically one close to me? Like, can you point one out?
He says, well, it depends on what sort of work you want done.
I was thinking more like sword.
Oh, sword crafting. Alright, well, for sword crafting, and she points down, further down to the diamond quarter, she says, head down straight that way. Look on the left side, and you'll find a sign that says Janar. Go and see him. He'll do you well.
Alright, thank you very much. Yeah, I am definitely gonna follow her instructions and head down that way. And I'm like, looking, and I'm like, Janar.
So yes, you do eventually find a storefront, Janar's Smithy. And as soon as the door, there's a little bell over the door, it jingles when you open it, and there is a gentleman standing behind the desk, who sort of startles when you enter. He says, "Hi, great ancestors! Look at the size of you!"
That is true. I am very large.
He says, I mean, no disrespect, I just, can I help you?
I hope so. And I just take out my ingot like, I need this to be more sword-like.
He watches as you set it down. He's like, you're gonna need more for a sword.
What else do I need?
More metal? Swords are... You know what a great sword looks like, right?
Well, actually, I am a mage, you see. This is more of like a magical sword.
He says, I'm not an enchanter, right? I can't enchant something for you.
Okay, so I can make the blade with my magic. I just need the hilt.
Oh, you just the hilt. You don't need anything else besides the hilt.
Right, exactly.
Well, I'll admit this is an unusual request. He picks up the ingot and he studies it. He says, "Oh, it's good quality lazurite." He He tries to bend it a little bit at the edges, see how sturdy it is, and he says, what sort of hilt? A two-handed hilt?
Yes, that's what I was thinking. That's what I'm most familiar with.
Do you want any embellishments on it? Any gems, enchantments, runes, anything like that?
I sort of like just blink at him, like the idea of like embellishments, like
What kind of runes could I have and embellishments?
He says, well, like I said, I am not myself an enchanter. However, my daughter works, I don't actually really know where it is she's working these days. We don't keep in touch very often. Last I heard, she was working with the Inquisition. But these days, I think she's doing freelance work. She's an enchanter of quite some skill. You could take it to her after I finished smelting the hilt.
Oh, yes, I actually know the Inquisitor, so that shouldn't be too hard.
Yeah, you do know the actual Inquisitor.
You know Lannon?
No, I don't. I've just heard of him. How about I give you a discount?
and she just looks and she's like, okay.
And he says, come back in a couple days. I'll have this nice and ready for you.
I'm pretty excited. I've been meaning to pick up more heavy mail and stuff since I've been dealing with my leather armor forever.
Yeah.
Yes, let's bounce to you, Yariel. What do you want to buy?
I would like a heavy shield and heavy mail because I'm feeling we're about to get into some shit.
So most of the designs on, like, first of all, yes, you can buy whatever you want, but most of the designs, like, there's a lot of intricate design work on shields in particular. So what kind of design would Yariel gravitate towards?
Ooh. Is there like an animal that's like special to the Dalish? Like
The Hala.
Oh, that makes sense. Like the Hala horn. Yes, that's what he would ideally like. I guess it's probably not likely that they're gonna just have that.
And I think that's a good scene. Like you're perusing a bunch of different shields with a bunch of different designs on it, and you're really looking around, and the shopkeep comes up to you and she says, "Can I help you find something?"
Yes, I would like the largest shield you have.
Oh, well, these are our heavy shields, she says, gesturing to the rack that you're looking at. Any particular design or shape you were looking for?
Well, I'm not sure you'll have this, but there's an animal called a Hala. Do you know of it?
She says, "Oh, I take the markings on your face to mean you're Dalish then, yes?"
Yes.
He says, "Well, I'll tell you what, if you can give me something to work with, like an image to reference, I could certainly work one, just, slap one together for you. We do have blank shields, which are covered in a very easy-to-carve malleable gold. I could carve it and then plate it for you. Shouldn't take more than an hour or two."
The nicest thing I will have ever owned in my life.
Aww.
I don't think I have anything that has a picture of one on. I've got the Hala horn, but obviously that's just the...
Oh, you know what? How about this? How about Meryl's hilt was carved with the head of a Hala?
Oh.
I'm like racking my brain frantically and like patting myself down. I'm like, what? And I pull it out and I just sort of look at it and everything just sort of stops for a second and I say, would this do?
She takes it from you and she looks at him and is like, "Oh, yes! Oh, what a very intricate little design. Yes, I could certainly do this for you. It shouldn't take more than an hour or two. Half down payment now, and then you can pay the other half when you come pick it up." What about you, Elian? What are you getting up to?
Well, I'm kind of intrigued by the idea of a tailored leather duster. Because, I mean, like, I've embroidered this armor and I've made it more my own, but,
Okay, so you head up to a leather crafter in that case. There are not as many leather crafters in Orzammar, obviously, as there are those that, make weapons and shields and heavy plate armor, that kind of thing. But, they make pretty much everything in Orzammar, so you find one easily enough. Mm-hmm. The shop front is headed up by an elderly woman with a long silvery beard, and she says, "What can I do for you, lad?"
I was hoping that you might have a duster that I could have, maybe with
She says, "Ooh," and she puts her finger against the side of her nose. "Concealed pockets?"
Possibly.
"Well, let me quickly take your measurements. I'm sure we have something in your size." And she shepherds you out to the back. And she spends a minute, getting up. Like, you're a human, she's a dwarf, so she has to stand up on a stool to get the measurement across your shoulders and stuff. But eventually she does set you up with a very nice long leather duster that's open at the front and attached with a belt. You can kind of like slip it over regular clothes and attach it with the belts. And yes, it is lined with hidden pockets that can hold all sorts of secrets.
Yes.
So yes, y'all get some goodies. And you all meet back up outside the royal quarters. And Ren is like leaning against the door and he says, "Took you long enough. Wow, you guys went shopping, huh?"
Yeah, we had 10 minutes to kill. It's definitely been more than 10 minutes.
He says, No, it's fine. It's just I've never seen you guys actually go shopping before.
Just needed some stuff, I like shrug my shoulders. Like, you like it? It's shiny.
He says, "Looks great on you." Lethalon, looks great on you. And he says, "Anyway, we have got an entrance with the King of Orzammar, so maybe smarten up a little bit." And he immediately goes into Big Brother mode with you, Yariel, and is like trying to smooth your hair down.
No, it doesn't get better than this. Stop it. Stop. No, that's not the way I like my hair.
You look like you were dragged out of the woods 2 minutes ago, Yariel.
That's how I'm supposed to look. How else will he know I'm Dalish?
You have the markings. You don't need to also look like a fucking weevil that just crawled out of a den.
I look good if you like men who look like they've been rolling in dirt.
Okay, so remember how I warned you that he's a dickhead?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah.
He is still a dickhead.
Good.
Excellent.
Just so we're all current.
It's a good thing he's consistent.
But, that said, he is a dickhead who has apparently married a castless woman. So, let's go meet King Bhelen.
Okay.
Telgen looks like he is full of dread. He has been, he hasn't said a whole lot, but he has gotten markedly more uncomfortable the longer he has stayed in Orzammar. But he, of course, follows you inside because, you brought him here. He's gotta go. So Ren guides you inside, and as soon as you head in, maybe it's just how the effect that he has on people. Now, anywhere Ren goes now, when people know he's Ren Sabre, whispers just follow him. And clearly he has done it again, because the whole bunch of dwarven nobles lined up along the outside of this hallway that are staring and watching you as you pass through. And Ren says, and try not to antagonize him too much. A little bit of antagonizing is fine, because he, like I said, he is a huge asshole. He kind of deserves it. But try to keep it to a minimum.
I look pointedly at Yariel for that.
I guess I won't talk then.
And he throws open this last set of inner doors, and indeed, King Bhelen Aeducan is sitting sort of recumbent on his throne, with a very pretty woman who has the castless mark on her face. And Telgen actually looks pretty shocked to see that. To see a woman with a castless mark being raised up to the level of queen. Yeah, he's actually kind of stunned to see it. And he says, "Well," as soon as Ren walks in, "never thought I'd see your mug again." And it's like, "Yeah, trust me, this was not my first choice of places to come." He says, "Didn't you die getting eaten by the archdemon or something?" And it's like, "It's good to see you too. May I introduce the 4 representatives of the Lucerni? This is Elian Bayard, the mage Cassandra, Telgen Dunmoral, and my younger brother, Yariel." And King Bhelen kind of sweeps his eyes over the 4 of you and he says, "Uh-huh. And what is it you want an audience with me for?"
And I look at Elian.
Okay.
This is what you're here for.
I know. We were hoping, Your Majesty, that you might grant us permission to speak with an emissary for the Legion of the Dead.
He says, "The Legion? What in the ancestors' name do you need to talk to the Legion for?"
I fear that we are in the midst of another blight.
Ha! He looks over and is like, "Boy, this feels familiar." Ren's like, "Yep, yeah. No, the irony is not lost on me." He says, "You came all the way to Orzammar to ask for help from Legion of the Dead? You've got a Grey Warden with you. Why not just conscript us? Or," and he sort of leans forward in his throne, "are the rumors I've been hearing from the surface true? Are the Grey Wardens gone?"
Elian kind of darts his eyes at the others, but there's no point in lying. They are. They have been disbanded.
He says, "Huh. Good. Honestly, I've never been a big fan of the way they've been legally allowed to boss everybody around. And Ren under his breath, like, yeah, we couldn't have more than one person bossing people around in Orzammar, could we?
I elbow him shortly.
And he says, well, the Legion of the Dead, as I hope you are aware, is not an independent organization. They answer directly to the king, to me. If you want to get their help with anything, you're going to have to do it through me. And he says, you said your name was Dunmoral? And Talgan immediately looks awkward.
Oh.
And Talgan says, yeah, Talgan Dunmoral. And Bhelen says, House Dunmoral? Talgan says, the house doesn't really exist anymore, as I'm sure your majesty is aware. And he says, oh yes, I'm aware. And he stands up, this resplendent golden and red armor clinking, as he comes down this shallow dais and over toward him. He says, my father was good friends with your mother. She was a member of his inner circle for quite some years before the whole nasty affair with my two brothers dying. Ren's like, yep, that nasty affair with two brothers.
I elbow Ren again.
Ow. And he says, how about this? He turns, sort of clasping his hands behind his back, and he says, you want something from me. You want the not insignificant fighting force that is the Legion of the Dead to aid you in this blight, I guess, again. How many blights do I have to deal with in one lifetime, by the way? Warden. And Ren's like, I'm not a warden anymore, your majesty. He says, whatever. He says, you want something from me? So how about some good recompense? He levels a look at Talgan, and he says, how would you feel, Talgan, about, coming back to Orzammar? Talgan's like, excuse me? He says, permanently, as a noble, on my court. Talgan's like, that can't be done. House Dunmoral has been erased from the memories. There's no way. And then King Bhelen interjects. He says, oh, there is a way. You see, me and the Shaper of Memories have been butting heads for over a decade now, and I can think of no better way to stick it to him than to bring back the last heir of a lost house. And if he happens to be in my corner on many political matters, more's the better.
Hey friends, Tessa here. If you're desperate to hear the next episode, chances are good that you can by joining our Discord server. We post links to all episodes in pre-release, and you can even chat with us and listen live as we record. Join us by going to bit.ly/CFCDiscord. For more information on the show, character biographies, and links to social media, head to our website, critfail.club or critfailclub.com. You can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Tumblr. Crit Fail Club does not advertise at all, so if you like what you hear, tell a friend who might also like it, make a post on social media about it, or leave a review on Apple Podcasts. Full episodes are available on our YouTube channel, bit.ly/CFC channel, or wherever you get your podcasts.